everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Jessica, and today I have my Pan That Palette update for you, or should I say pan those palettes, since I have two of them going. This is the palette that I am panning for the PANtastic Ladies Facebook group theme. This is fun sized, and I am working on the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette to pan it to completion. And then I'm doing the Better Together project that is also a Pan That palette from Paula, who is a beauty guru, made me do it. Everyone that has created a project, this one was created by Jackie. They're both going to be listed down below. There's going to be a spreadsheet for the fun-sized Pan That palette. There's going to be a spreadsheet for Better Together, since they are two separate entities. But because Better Together is working on two palettes together at the same time, that's why I do this update together. And I am attempting to finish both of these to completion, which is, I'm learning, not a very easy task, but I digress. I am going to keep working on them. And I am noticing that this teal blue is really throwing my white balance off, but there's not a whole lot I can do about it right now because I am not savvy with the whole settings on my camera, so we're just going to go with it. All right, I'm not normally looking like an Oompa Loompa in real life. Like, I have a mirror right in front of me and I don't look like an Oompa Loompa, but I do in the viewfinder. We are going to start with the fun sized, and that is like any small, you know, fun size palette, kind of like the fun size candies you get at Halloween. This is a fun size palette. It is smaller than my hand, or about the size of the palm of my hand, and I have some big hands too. So this has 9 shades in it. I'm going to put up a picture of where it was at my last update. And this is what it is looking like currently. I have a new pan. I'm very excited. It is my first pan in this palette, but we are going to go through these shades one at a time. The first shade here is one that I have not used a lot, and I think maybe 2 times I have used that, and it shows that I haven't really gotten much use on it. I actually have used shade 2. There's a baby dip starting to happen in there. Shade 3, I wear this quite a bit, and it doesn't look like I've even used it. It is barely looking disturbed to me. These mattes are, these are hard pressed, and they take a lot of work. These are no joke. These kind of remind me of like Urban Decay or Too Faced mattes. They are really tightly packed. They're nice. They have a lot of pigmentation, but they are not going to be easy to pan. Shade number 4 might be my exception to the rule. It is still hard packed, but is one that I use very frequently. And you can see I have a very good dip going in there, especially in the center. I have used this on my outer V. I've used it in the crease. I've used it as a liner. I love this shade, and I do believe I am going to be able to hit pan on this by the next update. Next up, we have the center shade, which is shade 5. I actually do have a bit of a dip going in there. I really like the shade a lot. I almost wish it was a little lighter. I use this mainly tapped in the center of my lids to kind of blend from like a lighter shade to a darker shade, and I really wish I could use it all over my lid, but it does not work for me. I do like the shade quite a bit, but it is not quite at pan. I do think probably by the next update I can have that one at pan as well. Moving on to shade 6, I actually have a nice dip going in this darker purple. I feel like this is the only true purple in the palette, which I have said in the past. Everything else leans more towards berries or pinks, but this one is to me a true purple. I like it a whole lot, but I am working on another purple in another project, and I'm hoping to have pan on that one soon, and then that one will roll out and I can really focus on this one. Shade 7 down in the corner is much like this one up here. Oh, nope, on the side. I use it frequently and it doesn't look like it. That is no joke. That is a matte that is going to take quite some time, but I'm okay with that. Moving on to shade 8, I love this shade. I use it on my inner corners. I've used it on my lids, and it shows, and I have that pan right up there, and I am excited. This is probably going to be the first one that is finished in the whole palette, and I'm probably going to miss it once it's gone. This one pulls almost a little peachy pink on me, but I do enjoy it quite a bit. And then shade 9 down here in the corner, I have used this probably a handful of times, and I primarily use this with my finger, again, to transition between my lighter and darker shades, much like I use the center shade here. Sometimes I'll use the brighter pink. I enjoy it, but it is going to take a while. This whole entire palette is going to take me the entire year. I was hoping I would be able to get a feel for stuff that I could get done early. This one's going to take me the entire year. I still see this being here like in my December update, and then I will probably have to do a finale towards the end of the year. Unless I feel like wearing pinks and purples every single day, this is going to take every bit of this year. I'm okay with that. I do like my pinks and my purples, berry tones, stuff like that. But I have a lot of eyeshadow that I'm working on this year, and I just like to mix things up. So I am not going to be using this every single day. At this point, I am not worried that I'm going to finish it because it's still too early to worry about that kind of thing. There is a possibility that I won't get this done this year. And if I don't, then I don't. I'm not going to waste the shadows or anything like that. I'm just going to use it and love it. And if it gets done, it gets done. If it doesn't, I'm not going to sweat the small stuff. So my goals for the next update is just to use a little bit of everything. I do want to hit pan in this shade right here. What is that, number 4? And I would like to hit pan in shade 5. And then down here, I would like to expand the pan on shade 8. Everything else, just kind of use it and see how I feel about it and just keep working on it. Now on to my Better Together palette. This is the Marc Jacobs Fantasy palette. I really like that I have a cool palette and a warm palette. It is better for me to put these together, and I am enjoying it quite a bit. Let me show you where I was with this Marc Jacobs palette last update. And this is where I am right now. So big changes. This shade is not done, but it is very close. I was really hoping to have this shade done by this update, but I was not able to completely finish it. I still have some right here on this edge, and I have no doubts that that will be done within the next few days. For the shade 2, this one I have definitely expanded the pan on that one, but this is a matte that is going to take some time. I'm okay with that. I am not worried about that not getting done by the end. It is a very nice neutral to slightly cool shade for me as a transition, and I use it quite frequently. Shade 3 is a nice warm transition shade for me. I tend to wear this with neutral looks, orangey looks, that kind of stuff. I have definitely expanded the pan on this one as well, and I am just enjoying it. Moving on to shade 4 here in the center. That one I have definitely expanded the pan on. I've actually used this in quite a few ways. I've used it on my lids, and I've also used it as a highlighter or like a blush topper, and it looks really nice for that. It does not give me the impact that I want on my lids, but it's okay. I find if I use this on like the inner third of my lids, I do have to put something a little bit brighter on top of it, like some kind of a topper. So I do use it both ways, but as a blush topper, it's actually quite nice. Shade 5 here is probably one of my absolute favorites in this whole entire palette. It is full on metallic, and I love it. I do tend to lean more towards warmer shades, and this one is just right up my alley. So I've definitely expanded the pan on that, and I have no doubts that this one is going to get done by the end of this. Another huge pan expansion here for shade 6. I like this one a lot. I tend to use this to darken up my outer V or just like the outer portion of my eyes. I will occasionally use it in my crease, and I do really like it as an eyeliner, and that is how I use it mostly. I did try doing this in my eyebrows, but it is just way too warm. And shade 7 here, I think I've used this once, maybe twice. If the pan is expanded, it is not significant, nothing that I can really tell. This one and this one here do compete. I do prefer shade 3 to shade 7, and I would use them in a very similar fashion. So this one is not going to get a whole lot of usage until shade 3 is done. Overall, I'm very happy to be working on both of these palettes. I feel like I'm making decent progress on the Huda Beauty Amethyst Obsessions palette. I'm making much better progress on my Marc Jacobs palette, but again, that's because I do tend to lean more towards the warmer shades. I enjoy purples, pinks, berries very much, but I cannot get as much use on these as I do on the warmer shades. It's just, I don't know, there's something inherent in me where I lean more warm, even though I tend to like a lot of color. Clearly I have a lot of color on my eyes today, but I think the Marc Jacobs is probably going to be done much sooner than the Huda is, but we'll just have to wait and see. I am predicting that Marc Jacobs is going to be done probably September, October range. That is going to be my best guess. That could change later in the year. Who knows what's going to happen with this year? I might, you know, all of a sudden just really want to go at this palette and get a whole lot done. And then I also might be like, I'm not feeling it. It's summertime. I'm bored with it. I want some brighter colors. I just don't know what's going to happen. But if I had to venture a guess based on my panning previously, my patterns with panning, I'm going to say by the end of September, I think this Marc Jacobs is going to be done. So that is everything for this update. Definitely go check out Jackie down below. I'm not sure if she actually has any other social media besides the Facebook group. I don't recall it off the top of my head, but I could be wrong. If there is something for her, it is going to be linked down below. And everyone already knows who Paula is, a beauty guru made me do it. I cannot speak tonight. She is going to be linked down below for YouTube as well as Instagram. And there is going to be separate playlists for the fun size palettes, and there is going to be a playlist for the Better Together palettes. So if you want to get in on this, it is not too late. You don't have to be a part of the Facebook group because we welcome anyone that wants to join in to our projects. Once it's started, it is open to everyone, and you just pick your fun size palette or pick your Better Together if you want to do both, and have at it. Please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And until I see you in my next video, have a beautiful day.